Hello learners, and welcome to week 10 of U.S. History, Foundations to Reconstruction. This week you are completing units 2.3 and 2.4. So we're going to learn about colonial resistance, and then you'll take a quiz on the relations with England. So everything that you've learned so far in unit 2. Okay, so the learning target for today is I can successfully identify the ways and reasons the colonies united against British rule. Okay, so I just want you to take a moment and think about if you ever had a different viewpoint than your friend or family about a topic. So just take a second and think if you've ever had a different viewpoint, if you've ever looked at something a little bit differently, and just kind of think about that. It could be politics. It could be, something going on in your house, or even maybe a project, totally different view on how maybe you should paint your house, or maybe a viewpoint on buying a table, or like I said, something a little bit more political, like your political parties or who should be president. Just take a moment and think about that. Okay, so hopefully you realize that everybody has a different view on things that happen. Everybody has their own opinions. Everybody has their own way of looking at things. Most people think that their opinion sometimes could be the right and only opinion that's worth listening for or at. Okay, so that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. The bias and the viewpoints of the Boston Massacre. Okay, so you're going to read assignment 3 entitled Colonial Resistance in Odyssey-ware. I'd also like you to read the events leading to the American Revolution. It's a chart that has nice information with major events on the side, and then it goes into description. And then at the bottom, there's a review web that you can kind of fill out to review the information on what led to the American Revolution. And then I want you to watch the following video about the Boston Massacre. In a notebook, write down how this event sparks the start of the American Revolution. You can also watch this short video. It's called Boston Massacre, Colonists and the Declaratory and Townshend Acts from study.com. Just so you know, you can only watch the beginning again, unfortunately. But there's still some really good stuff there. And then just take a moment when you're done with that and look at the flashcards and Quizlet to kind of review some major terms that you learned about with the events in the Boston Massacre. Okay, so how is this political cartoon a good example of the bias portrayed by the patriots of the Boston Massacre? So you can see that the British are on the right side, and you can see the guns and the smoke, and you can see what's happening to the colonists. And you can see maybe why the Patriots would want to do this. Why would the Patriots want to, display something like this? What would be their main goal? Okay, so think about this. Why is there bias in this? What is their goal of, painting something like this? And evaluate. In order to check your understanding of the events leading up to the American Revolutionary War, please complete the small quiz. So this will go over some of the flashcards that you did earlier. And then I want you to use your knowledge of the Boston Massacre and other events leading up to the American Revolutionary War. And based on the information you learned about in the Explore section, would you side with the colonists or the British? So you decide if you're going to become a patriot or a loyalist. And you can click on that and you can fill it out. And there's a persuasive writing rubric as well. Okay, and then just reflect on what information you learned from this lesson. And hopefully you learned a ton of new information about the events that eventually led up to the American Revolution. Okay, so any questions or concerns, please reach out to me. But I really think this is a good lesson. I think you're really going to like this. Learning about the Boston Massacre, a lot of good videos, a lot of good information. And like I said, as we go through, this will continue here with what's going to happen after the Boston Massacre and how they're going to come back together for the Second Continental Congress, where they're going to reevaluate the situation and what's going on. And then, like I said, it'll eventually lead up to the American Revolution, but you are learning the reasons why right now that are going to help you to better understand why the Revolutionary War took place. Okay, so like I said, questions, concerns, please reach out to me. If not, you have a wonderful, productive week. Thanks.